Steve and Jill here.
Hello.
Welcome to the Land Academy Show, entertaining land investment talk. I'm Stephen Jack Butala.
And I'm Jill DeWitt, broadcasting from sunny Southern California.
Today, Jill and I talk about Land Academy Live just for the fun of it.
It sounds like a weird topic, but you have a really good,
So here's what Jill just said.
Goal.
Right before we started, she said, what the hell is this now?
Yeah.
What's the point to anything if you're not going to have fun doing it? These Land Academy Live events, turns out, are a blast for us to do.
Mm-hmm.
And they're a heck of a lot of fun, it seems like, to the people that are there.
Right.
You know, plus it's right on the beach. You know, people bring their spouses and they have
Make
a vacation.
I remember being a little stressed going to the first one, and then 5 minutes in, I'm like, oh, this is so much fun.
Yeah.
And then it was great.
How can you not have fun at a beach?
Yep.
That's crazy.
Exactly.
So that's the whole point of this. And even real estate investing and whatever you choose to do. For us, it's real estate investing and now teaching, or whatever this is called.
Right.
And it's fun.
We're gonna make up our own name.
Jill and I are constantly laughing. It's, you know, we're filming I'm filming a show called the Steve Butala Daily Show, where people follow us around and watch the stupid stuff, Jill and I, this dumb lifestyle that we have. And it's fun.
Exactly.
I look at the reels I look at the drafts before the show hasn't been released yet. It will on YouTube at some point.
Right.
When we have enough accumulated episodes, and I'm looking at this stuff going, this is, even me looking at it going,
This is nuts.
we're having too much fun.
Uh-huh.
We're making a bunch of money while we're
It's
doing
nuts.
it. So
Yep.
what's the point to anything if you're not having fun?
Thank you.
I've been in places in my life, I'm sure you have too, Joe, where you just wake up one day and you're looking at yourself in the mirror going, you know,
What am I doing?
this is not any fun.
Right.
The person that I'm with is no fun at all. They're not happy.
Right.
This job is awful. Hopefully not all at the same time.
Yep.
This job is awful. I gotta do something about this. I know change sucks, but you know, I'd rather go be homeless than do this. This is terrible.
Yep.
So that's what this episode is about, and maybe the episode's over.
I was wondering. I'm not sure what we're going to have left to talk about, but that's okay.
I got all into it.
All good.
Before we actually get into it, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the landinvestors.com online community. It's free. And as you're listening to us, please drop your questions into the comments section below.
Curtis asks, hello all, getting ready for my first mailer, and Steve mentioned that it's important to keep the same number over the years,
Phone number,
as people will call you from mailers you did years before. Is there a service that's used to keep a phone number permanently? I absolutely do not want to use a California number when mailing other states, however. Everyone hates us. I hate us. Chris is awesome. This is so good. I'm sorry. I'm so cracking up. I hate us. I don't want to waste too much time on this, but having a number you can't lose is what I'm after. Thanks. All right. I want to first address the California thing because that's a crack up. So,
people do hate us.
I don't think it's fair, by the way.
I'm not here.
It's
I'm not
really
from
not
here, so
fair.
I'm not a Californian.
Yeah, but you live here now.
I know, but I'm still in my soul, like, from the Midwest.
Yeah, where are you from in your soul?
From Detroit.
You know what, though? I'm not so sure about that, because I thought you told me in your soul was to be out west, and that's why you're here now. Like, you were displaced.
I still have roots there, and I understand. It's not hate. I understand why people look at people in California a lot and say, what the heck?
But they can live here, too, by the way. It's not like they
jealousy.
can't. So
It's just weirdness.
I don't think we're that weird. I think they're weird. Why would you live somewhere
Here's a couple of things about California
that you don't like?
And
just complain about us over here that are doing something about it.
People in California don't understand a few things. Here, I'm going to help everyone in California. I'm going to help you.
All right, here we go.
If you are not a Democrat, every single election you have ever watched on television, from the national elections all the way down to the local elections, has been destroyed by the fact that California and its electoral votes, the number of electoral votes it has, it's just right when the whole the televising of the election start.
Right.
Democrat. So I don't care either way if you're Democrat or Republican, but I will tell you that there are people in this planet that all over this country who can't stand a state because of that, and they literally won't come to California because of that. So that's number one.
How sad is that?
Number two, I'm going to paint the profile
All right.
Jill and I live in this little beach community in southwestern Los Angeles. There's little groups of beaches down here. And I'll paint the profile of a person who's lived here for more than 20 years. Back in the day, these beach communities were considered, oh my gosh, those weirdos that go live in that
That's
beach
true.
area. They're
like
nuts.
the slum area.
And so these people, mostly hippies, maybe
The
30,
shacks on
40
the
years
beach.
ago, would buy property for like $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 literally, and live this happy life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not right. I'm not left. I don't care about that. That's just what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And now those houses are worth $4 and $5 and $8 million.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them bought strip
Even
malls.
more. Yeah.
And they bought strip centers and all kinds of real estate. Or some of them were construction guys that built properties and accumulated some land.
Mm-hmm.
Those people are crazy rich now. They're multimillionaires for doing nothing, doing whatever all of us around the whole country have done, which is buy a house, pay the mortgage for a while. Theirs
There.
just happened to be worth $4 million at the end, and everybody else's happened to be worth 5 to 10% more a year.
Right.
So they're independently wealthy, and because of that, they walk around happy. They walk around
That's a good point.
with a guitar on their back, smiling, and they have some drinks. So Jill and I go out all the time, talk to these people, and listen to these stories. I'm personally happy for them because I found my little slice too, albeit not that. It's something else.
Right.
This makes people in Texas and other places really mad. Maybe
Right.
that is jealousy. I don't know.
Right.
So and it's not just Los Angeles. It's all through California that's happened. Nowhere in this country have they seen skyrocketing real estate values like in California.
I understand now.
It's like, what are they so happy about?
That and the weather.
Yeah.
Come on. All right, so back to the question about the phone number. So I don't think you're going to be wrong if you have whatever it is, keep it. Maybe you have a Los Angeles address because that's where your mail gets sent and then forwarded to you wherever you are and wherever you end up being in the future. So I would say get a 310 or 213 if you still have that number, phone number so it all ties together. That's not crazy. And don't even think about it. I don't think you really need to worry about that. I don't really think you need to run out and get a Arkansas mailbox with an Arkansas phone number and be hiding in California. What do you think?
Well, there's a right way to do this and a fast way. And I think that you need to own your phone number. Let's just start there.
That's for sure.
There's a difference between owning your phone number and using one.
Right.
And so there's an owner of record for every single phone number out there. And if you Google it and say, I would like to own my phone number, and then port it somewhere, if you're porting a phone number, you own it.
Right.
So look up porting.
And it can follow you around. It takes 30 days when you make the transfer. So
do that for sure for your main number. I would not use an 800 number, an 833 number. I think
that does send a
makes
little bit
you
the
a
wrong
company.
message. Yeah.
But do you have to have if you live in California and you're mailing Tennessee, do you have to have a Tennessee number? I don't know.
I wouldn't, because you want to keep it consistent. You want to keep that phone number forever, unless you want to port 10 phone numbers. I mean, you could theoretically port 10 phone numbers around you for the rest of your life. I wouldn't. We started with a Scottsdale number and a Scottsdale address, and we will keep a Scottsdale number and a Scottsdale address.
Millennials in general don't care about area codes. I read a whole thing. It's only the older generation that they look at it. Well, what is it? Where's the 480?
Right.
Nobody cares anymore. So I wouldn't overthink this. I would not use an 800 number, and I would not overthink this. But you do want to own it, because we were in a situation, Jill and I, where we were for years and years, we were in a office share, executive office share, and the guy that owned the office share, the building got sold, and the guy that owned the actual office share company decided to pack it in, and he owned all those phone numbers, and Joe was good friends with him, so he just gave them to
We
us.
got to get these numbers.
These are the ones that millions and millions of mailers went out, so I freaked out. And Joe found a workaround. So you don't want to put yourself in that situation where, for whatever reason, you don't control that phone number, and you sent 3 million mailers out over the last decade, and you're going to lose control of that phone number. That's why I say own it.
Right.
The local to local, not so much.
Right.
Today's topic, Land Academy Live, just for the fun of it. This is the meat of the show. What good is any of this if you're not having fun? I grew up, since we brought in California and Detroit and stuff, I grew up in an environment where it was a figurative contest to see who could suffer the most. The culture is still like that. What do you mean you work in a union and you work in... Oh, that's nothing. I am in a union and I work in the actual... it's just this thing back and forth. I hear people doing it in a bar all the time. You haven't suffered like I've suffered.
It's not the contest. Finish. I want you to. Right? Well, I want you to finish that because then I'm going to tell you how I was raised. What my dad told me, the speech he gave me, because it's hilarious. It's so different from your speech, by the way.
Jill's father's from Michigan, by the way.
Yeah.
No, I think that I still talk to people from Michigan, and it's not as bad. I don't think anymore. Maybe it's just because we're older, but I would. That's the summary of it. Can you tell me, Jill? What your side of it is?
So, here's how I was raised, which I love my dad for this. He sat me down and really gave me a talk. I said, you know what? You can really do anything you want to do. And he said, I set out to have a job. My goal was to have a job that paid very well and I didn't have to work a lot of hours. That was his number one goal. That's where he came up with airline pilot.
That's beautiful.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
He did it. Then that was the goal. And that was like, that's perfect. Some people want that, some people don't. But you have to sit down and think about, what do you want? What's good for you? What's fun for you?
There's no replacement for hard work. Mm-hmm. No matter, I always set the financial bar for us, and then we hit it, and I move it again. It's just how it's going to be and how it is. So, and it's like, I don't know if we work harder. Do we work harder now than we used to? I don't know.
Yes.
I know that we work more hours and we work harder, but I have like zero stress about it.
Oh, I hadn't thought about it that way. But you know what? You might have a point there. Now I have a team that I don't have to do this stuff. I just kind of oversee. Mm-hmm. So I'm not necessarily working harder, and it is easy for me to go have more fun. I can call in. I can play hooky on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Everything's still going to get done.
Yeah,
everything.
Actually, it'll get done better.
Probably better and faster than if we're there, like messing with them and changing it. So that's true. Yeah, you got to have fun. And I love that you talked about, this event, the live event. You said to me a little bit before the show, how many people came here to not only celebrate, what they're doing, learn more from us, but gosh, just to get away and have some fun.
Yeah.
That was what I wanted. Bring your wives.
Yeah.
Bring your partners, whatever.
Kids.
Leave them in the hotel room.
Sure.
Say, I'll meet you for dinner. We'll be over here. That's perfect.
It's a full-blown tax situation, a good positive tax situation for you, if not anything else.
Well, and you know what? I'm positive that everyone from the first event knows exactly how we roll, how much fun we really do like to have, where we like to go after hours, and how we whoop it up in a good safe way.
Yeah.
But we like to go have some fun too. We're going out having fun. We're not like, no way. I'm going to go home and study. Heck no. Do that later. Do that on the airplane home.
So career-wise, do you remember when you made a shift from actually working to actually having fun at your job? Or, was there a moment where you're like, you know what? This doesn't suck anymore?
Yeah. You know when it was? It was on my lunchtime and really when I was done for the day.
No, I mean in your career. So, when you left your job you didn't like, or when you transferred into, probably it wasn't the very beginning of real estate, but whenever, I don't know, was there some moment when you were just like a
career when I made when I moved to a different career or a different position that I really loved it?
Yeah.
Well, I'm different because I'm hell bent.
You're always happy.
I know, that's it. I'm hell bent on trying to have fun no matter what I'm doing, but it has come back to bite me. I've been in situations where, I was kind of like, chill out here. We're supposed to be working. I'm like, come on. We have to enjoy it a little bit. So, but I've usually had bosses that understood me right away, and knew that I'm going to have some fun, but trust me, I'm working very hard.
Yeah.
And I deserve it. They never questioned it.
Mm-hmm.
I would, make the workplace enjoyable. So, but on the big picture, it really wasn't until, and it's so funny because some people see it as the opposite. Man, I felt so freed up when I finally left the last job, and I didn't have to think about a boss, or I could just do my own thing.
Yeah.
And the flip side is the responsibility. What I took on, what we have as our own responsibility, which some people panic about. And for them, they're thinking that's no fun because they're like, I'm responsible for the lives of all these people and putting food on all their tables. That doesn't bother me at all.
I love that.
I love it.
I want that
I'm
responsibility.
so happy. I'll work harder.
I seek that out. So will I.
I'll work harder. It's fine.
I mean, there's a limit to it. Like, for whatever reason, I was thinking about this. I'm really comfortable with, I don't know, 2,500 2,000 square foot office-ish with 5 to 10 people working there with a ton of overseas help. And then that's where my zen is.
Right.
And then from there, do more deals, own more companies. Like Jill and I own 4 or 5 companies, and keep the tentacles spreading out. But that nucleus of core management people stays the same. And it's always been like that. I've never wanted to have
factory
manufacturing companies with 2,500 employees. People ask me sometimes, they're like, well, how many people do work? Because it's a trophy for them for some reason. Usually older people say, how many people do you have working for you?
I know.
Well, I have about 8 or 10 people working for me, and then we've got these okay, well, you're still good at you're still trying. I understand. By
design.
Since when is having more employees a trophy? It's not. It's a pain in the ass is what it is. You just need to have the right crew.
The right people.
The right small crew.
And then it's great.
Make them and allow them to flourish with other labor sources, outsourcing and everything else. That's why older people don't get it, because the internet allows you to do that. How's that for a rant?
That was awesome.
Ranty.
That was awesome.
Well, you've done it again. You spent another 15 minutes or so listening to the Land Academy Show. Join us next time where we cover another interesting real estate acquisition topic.
And answer your questions posted on our online community, landinvestors.com. It's free.
You're not alone in your real estate ambition.
That went longer than I thought it would. I thought what are we going to have to talk about? Like you stated the topic. I'm like, well, all right, that will take us 3 minutes.
You're cracking me up because no one that I've ever met is more qualified about talking and about having fun. No matter what you're doing. Jill can have a party in her head while she's driving down the street.
I do that. That's true. Share the fun by hitting the subscribe button to stay up to date on our podcast, or if you are new to our channel, like us and comment on what you'd like to see in future shows. And if you're listening on iTunes, please rate us there. We are Steve and Jill.
Information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.